To determine the age of a fossil, we have to determine the age of the rock that the fossil is found in. And that's not always a simple procedure, because the types of rocks that fossils are found in are sedimentary rocks. And it's pretty much impossible to directly date a sedimentary rock, because it's made up of millions and millions of grains of some other rock. But we can date ash beds above and below the fossil layer. And an ash bed is a layer of ash from a volcano that erupted hundreds of millions of years ago. And when ash is deposited, there are mineral grains deposited in that layer called zircons. And those zircons are very special because they contain some amount of the element uranium in them. A tiny, tiny little bit, not enough to hurt you. And uranium is special because it's radioactive. And so over time, uranium decays into lead. And that happens in a clock-like fashion that scientists can then go back and measure and determine the age of the ash bed. And this may sound sort of familiar to you because it's the same technique that's used in carbon dating, which unfortunately doesn't work for our types of fossils because carbon decays so fast that after maybe 20 or 30,000 years, there's no radioactive carbon left in a sample for scientists to measure. So it works really great for archaeologists, but not so great for paleontologists. Sedimentary rocks are deposited in layers, and those layers are horizontal when they're laid down. So if a fossil is preserved in a sedimentary layer, and then more sediment falls on top of it, we know sediment on top is younger than the sediment on the bottom that contains the fossil. And so when we're trying to date a fossil, if we have a radiometric date from an ash bed above the fossil, we know the fossil is going to be older than that date. And if we have a radiometric date from below the fossil, we know the fossil is going to be younger than that date. So in that way, we can bracket the age of a fossil between two radiometric dates. So we can't get an exact, precise date on the fossil, but we can usually do a pretty good job of getting a ballpark figure of how old that fossil was.